I love Monster High, and I love drawing, so I thought it would be fun to try my hand at redesigning some of the core Generation 1 characters and kind of reinterpreting them. So my plan is to pick a specific fashion subculture or style and combine it with what already makes these characters special in the first place to create a version of them that maybe is like a little bit more grown up, or that might fit the natural evolution of their character from how we know and love them from the original generation. So I made a Pinterest board with different mood boards for each of the 7 main characters from G1, and these just include like color palettes, pictures of the original designs, some fashion that I thought might kind of fit my vision for them. And for this video, we're going to redesign 3 characters, and we're going to start out with a fan favorite, Miss Draculaura. So let's get right into it. For all of these redesigns, I'm starting out with a couple of sketches to figure out what I want my version of the character to look like. And for Draculaura, I immediately knew I wanted to keep her twin tails, and I wanted to give her bigger, pointier ears to really make her look like kind of more of a vampire, more of a bat. I really like that look for her. I think it makes her just look super cute. And for the fashion, I was inspired by a couple of different things. So I think in like 2017, Mattel released this collector Draculaura doll that is wearing this very gorgeous, I think like Victorian inspired dress. And I liked that, but I wanted to keep the design modern and not go like full-on Victorian style with this design, so I chose to put her in an outfit that reminds me of like coquette fashion, while still incorporating some elements that scream old vampire to me with like a modern twist. So I gave her this dress that has this blouse-like top with these big, very pointy sleeves. I like this pointy shape for her because it makes me think of like bat wings, her pointy teeth, just like having 2 points reminds me of like a vampire, and it makes it a bit more dramatic. I also wanted her to have like pretty long hair. I mean, her hair longer than her original pigtails are, because if you're 1600 years old, you would have time to grow out your hair, you know? And like put long pink highlights all the way down. And yeah, I actually really considered giving her boots like in her original G1 design, because they're super cool, but I wanted to switch things up a bit, so I gave her heels instead, but opted for these like long kind of mesh or see-through socks with these little lace anklets and details that are very playful, but maybe just read a tad more elegant than the original boots, which are pretty chunky and they have like this big heart on them and everything. And I felt like the small shoes just looked a bit more cohesive with the outfit that I was putting together for her overall. But with the socks, we still kind of keep that silhouette or that look that she had going on previously, which I really like. I stuck with her mostly pink and black color palette because it just works. It's really iconic and super cute. But I made the colors just a bit more desaturated overall to, I guess, like amp up the contrast a bit as well. I gave her a really dark lipstick. Her eyes are a very like light purple color, so she really has that like stare going on that I don't know, like this vampiric stare that I think would just suit her. Right now I'm adding in some more details. I made sure to give her long pointy nails that are painted black to match her lipstick. I'm also adding in a little bit more frill and little lace bits here and there because Draculaura would love that. And I gave her these batwing earrings that are so pointy and perfect. And another detail I would like to point out actually is her pigtails are not entirely smooth. There is this little like piece of hair that is sticking out on each side, and I think it just further adds to that idea of like adding points to her design, which I mentioned earlier. I think, yeah, it just improves her silhouette a little bit and really gives that vampiric cute look without, you know, losing the smooth long pigtails. Yeah, I'm also doing a little portrait illustration over here just so we can have a bit more of a close-up and you can see like her eye color a little bit better here. I love her purple eyes, but I wanted them to just be like a little bit more bright to see more unnatural, inhuman. Like, they could be terrifying, but we know that she's actually just really sweet. And with that, we're wrapping up our first redesign of the video. This is my version of Draculaura. I didn't do anything too crazy with this redesign, like you can still really see the original essence of her in there, but I am very happy with the colors I chose and also the small like shapes and things I added to just make her silhouette look a little bit more interesting. So I hope you guys enjoy her as well. Next up is Frankie, and this might just be my favorite redesign of the video because I had so much fun designing this one. Her original design in Generation 1 is very preppy. She has this like plaid pattern dress, but it's combined with these kind of mesh puffy sleeves that give her more of a cute feminine silhouette, as well as this belt with a chain on it and the really cool striped chunky high heels with platforms that look awesome, and it just gives her whole look a bit more of an edge to it. Like, I love how the original outfit looks, but I also really like the idea of a more androgynous look for Frankie. And in general, I really wanted to lean more into her Frankenstein-ness of her being like, you know, a monster that was built and put together. So I added kind of the classic stitch on her forehead because, you know, the brain's gonna go in somewhere. And I also wanted her hair to kind of reflect the fact that she was like built together. So the hairline is like a little bit high, you know, and the hair looks a little bit jaggedy, almost as if it was like, you know, kind of placed there instead of being naturally grown, like perfectly rooted hair, I guess. And I feel like she embraces that look and just goes with like kind of a shaggy haircut, which I really like, and I think it looks cool with the iconic black and white streaks. And for the outfit, I went through a couple of iterations in the sketching phase, just like with Draculaura, and in the end, despite like a couple of my first ideas of still going kind of mainly preppy, I ended up going for something that reads more visual K, punk, really like cool and yeah, androgynous as well. I had a bunch of visual K reference images in my Pinterest board by the end, and yeah, I was super excited about that idea. So I gave her some chunky shoes, flared pants, and this leather jacket kind of situation with asymmetrical elements. So on one side, she has this really big glove that kind of reminds me of like a mad scientist, like Frankenstein. And on the other side, she just has like the jacket sleeve with the big buckle, so I can also see going down the front of the jacket. And maybe one of my favorite parts of the outfit is that I actually ended up making the pants plaid because I really wanted to keep that element from the original design. For a minute there, I was like, is this gonna be too much? Is it not gonna work with the rest of the outfit? But I feel like she pulls it off so well, and I think the pop of red on the pants really just adds so much to the overall outfit. I'm also really happy with the square buckles. In general, I think I wanted Frankie to look a bit more like boxy here, with like the kind of broad shoulder design with the pointy like shoulder pieces, I guess. Like the jacket is very structured. And yeah, I also made like the makeup quite dark, and yeah, I just wanted Frankie to look like as cool as possible, pretty much like she could be in a visual K band or something. And it does feel like a fitting evolution, I think. I also really like the lip to ear piercing chain, which just adds another point of asymmetry. And yeah, for the lipstick, I initially made it like a dark blue color, but I ended up also changing that to the same red that you can see in the plaid pattern on the pants, because I think it just made the whole outfit come together a bit more cohesively. For the belt, I kept the chain and the bolt like buckle, which is just so Frankie, and I wanted to keep a bit more of like the original preppy elements from her like G1 outfits. So instead of just making her wear a tie regularly, I decided to have her tie it around her waist as like an accessory to the belt, and I love how that looks. I also made it red, and I added some studs to the sleeve, and in general just like a little bit more detailing to really make this look super accessorized. And because she has long pants and you can't see any of the stitches on the leg, I also wanted to kind of still convey the like idea of her being a sewn together Frankenstein monster by making the pants also sewn together. So there are stitches on the pants that carry over this idea, even though you can't see her like being multiple pieces, I guess. So yeah,
that's pretty much everything for Frankie. I hope you like this. I'm so excited about this design, honestly. Like, I sort of doubted myself in the beginning a little bit because I also had some different ideas that were like, you know, plaid vests or just like a little bit more casual looking stuff. But I think committing to this idea was like really good. And yeah, I'm also doing a portrait illustration of her as well, just like for Draculaura, where you can just see like the makeup and the hair a bit more closely, as well as the accessories. And that wraps up my redesign for Frankie. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. The third character I decided to redesign for this video is Miss Lagoona Blue, who is one of my favorites, and actually I think my little sister's favorite character, so absolutely a must. And I had a pretty clear idea of what I wanted to do for her from the get-go. So I, you know, love that Lagoona is like an Aussie beach girl, and I also really enjoy Gyaru aesthetics and the different kind of subcategories that are part of that subculture. And I actually found a bunch of really cute kind of swimwear and beach related looks during my research for this little project and took some inspiration from that. I didn't go full on Gyaru with the design, but I definitely, you know, picked some elements that I thought kind of suited Lagoona well. The outfit pieces themselves are actually quite similar to her original design. I just kind of went into a different direction with like, you know, color palette and pushing more into this really like bubbly kind of direction. You will see once I start coloring the pieces as well. But yeah, something that was really important to me was to keep her skin blue or like this kind of grayish blue tone, because I was devastated when they decided to make her pink in the reboot. Like, I understand I'm not the target audience for this anymore, and they can do whatever they want, but Lagoona has to be blue. It's literally in her name. I do think she looks cute in pink though, so I chose this kind of corally pinkish color as one of the main colors for her outfit, and it's repeated throughout most of her pieces. I kind of went a little bit experimental and just gave her this like tube top with a big swirl on it, because it just made me think of like waves, ocean. Actually, now that I think of it, it's very similar to, if you guys watched Winx Club, like Aisha's basic kind of casual outfit from the first season that she's featured in. She has like a swirl on it, and I think that's probably where I got that from, I'm not gonna lie. But I think it looks cute, and it's just layered with this like bikini top. She has shorts again with like, just instead of fishnets, I put some just like tights under that to give her like a bit of a sporty look, and a visor so that she doesn't get sunburned when she goes out. Something I really like about Gyaru makeup is how often they will do like very light lip colors, and I gave her like a light pink lipstick, I guess. That also matches her light pink eyeshadow, so she just has like some contrast going on in her makeup, which I thought was really cute. For her fins, I wanted there to be a little bit of color variation, so I made the tips of them also sort of appear a little bit corally, like there's, you know, some blood circulation going on or something, or they're just colored, I don't know. I just thought they would look nice with a little bit of color variation. I had to keep her flower very, very important, and also like just some of the jewelry that she has is quite similar. Something that was also really important to me was to give her like those big fishy eyes. Like, they're also like kind of far apart, and I just wanted them to look like as round and like goopy as possible. I don't know if that's the right word to describe it, but that's something I always really appreciated about Lagoona's face sculpt. Like, sometimes she even looks a little bit derpy on the dolls, but she's like a fish girl, so it makes perfect sense. And yeah, I wasn't gonna remove that from my design, of course. I made her eyes look a little bit like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, the pupil isn't that dark, so it's like kind of a similar value to the iris, which just gives her that like kind of foggy look in her eyes. I don't know, it just made me think of fishy. That's what my instinct told me, but yeah. We're also keeping the color of her hair highlights and everything, and the freckles, very important. Some of my favorite accessories or like outfit pieces that I gave her are this like what would you call it? This like single sleeve arm warmer that has a little cutout for her fin to poke out of. I really like that. By the way, something that I realized a couple of years ago is that like the fins on her legs and on her arms are actually like facing the wrong direction. Like they would not be practical for swimming. It would not make her more like aerodynamic. Is that the word? No, I think that's for flying. It would not make her swim better. Like they're facing the wrong direction. And I kind of love this because obviously it looks really cute and like it's a nice shape on the doll. It's just extremely nonsensical, and that's something I love about Monster High, and that's why, even though it doesn't make sense, I decided not to change it. So let me know what you think about that, I guess. Yeah, this one was pretty quick. It was pretty easy. I don't know. I've just always loved like all of Lagoona's swimwear, sports related designs. Like she's just a perfect character for that. And yeah, that is my Lagoona redesign completed.
So once again, here are the 3 redesigns we made. Obviously, there's still so many more Monster High characters, both from the main cast, but also so many of the ones that were introduced later, some side characters, some boy characters. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know if you would like to see another part of the series, and also which characters you would like to see me do next. Of course, I'm going to complete like the main group, since I also already like did some prep work for that, but I definitely would be interested in doing more as well. So let me know what your favorite Monster High character is down below, and also which one of the redesigns you enjoyed the most. If you want to see more of my work, you can also find me on Instagram, same as my YouTube handle, Tamagoyani, and I also have a coffee shop where I sell keychains and prints and stuff like that. I actually have a collection of Monster High keychains that I'm probably going to start listing on there pretty soon, once I actually have the stock. So yeah, I hope you're looking forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye bye!